By mid-2020, global populations were navigating a period of severe vulnerability. In an environment of fragmented medical data and social isolation, the traditional anchors of truth began to fail. One primary record of this shift is a transcript from July 2020 titled NACT 71920, capturing a meeting led by Mehran Tavakoli Keshe of the Keshe Foundation. We are treating this text not as a set of medical claims, but as a sociological artifact. It provides a forensic look at how a fringe movement attempts to occupy the vacuum left by a crisis. This process relies on epistemic closure, a state where an individual's information environment is systematically walled off, replacing consensus reality with a closed internal logic. By analyzing the specific rhetorical maneuvers within the transcript, we can identify the tactics used to convert global anxiety into total organizational dependency. The transcript utilizes a four-part progression designed to isolate followers and consolidate authority. For analysts monitoring alternate reality ecosystems, this text provides a window into the machinery required to construct a self-contained information environment. The initial tactical phase focuses on escalating the biological threat until it exceeds the scale of any mainstream reporting. Keshe immediately introduces massive, unverified figures, claiming 35 million Iranians are already contaminated and predicting that within 12 months, the entire nation will be infected. He then extends this projection to the global scale, asserting that the virus will trigger a 50% reduction in the world's population within 5 years. The narrative specifically targets human reproduction. Keshe claims that anyone infected or receiving standard medical treatments suffers 100% male infertility, explicitly stating that not a single sperm survives. He doubles this claim by asserting that the virus alters the female cycle to occur multiple times a month, rendering the population functionally sterile. The transcript further links the virus to violent instability, attributing murder and suicide directly to the symptomatic conditions of the infection. These extreme claims create a specific problem. They describe a world so dangerous that traditional institutions appear irrelevant and powerless to intervene. By framing existence as entirely lethal, the narrative establishes a condition of total existential dependency on the speaker's solutions. Once the threat is established, the focus shifts to systematically dismantling external authorities. The transcript attacks the credibility of international bodies directly, claiming the World Health Organization is a compromised entity producing fraudulent evidence. This is coupled with a personalized attack on Bill Gates, accusing him of funding the WHO to orchestrate the deaths of 2 million people. At the national level, Keshe characterizes the Iranian Ministry of Health as a mafia that is deliberately suppressing his foundation's work while promoting failed treatments. He reinforces this by reporting that officials are demanding bribes and utilizing security systems to maintain their control. To heighten the sense of conspiracy, he invokes a historical narrative regarding the British burning Iranian grain supplies. By linking current supply chain issues to this history of alleged genocide, he frames modern economic disruption as a deliberate act of war. The objective is to strip away all alternative sources of truth, forcing the listener to rely solely on the organization for guidance. With external institutions discredited, the narrative offers exclusive, proprietary solutions to the very crises it has described. To address the threat of infertility, Keshe introduces unverified products like One Drop, One Life and specialized foundation-branded sprays and clothing. Responding to his warnings that European supermarkets will soon be empty, he positions his organization as a logistical savior. He claims a one-drop, one-food technology, asserting a single drop provides 8 hours of energy and renders the traditional food supply chain unnecessary. This expands into the promise of a single-unit life cycle system, a self-contained unit ostensibly providing all the food and energy a human needs. Finally, the transcript promises a global technological leap, announcing a new space program utilizing plasma technology, scheduled for March 21st. By positioning these exclusive technologies as the only means of survival, the organization captures the physical and financial commitment of its audience. The final stage secures the group's hierarchy and enforces internal loyalty. Keshe claims a level of state-level influence, asserting that President Rouhani's COVID figures were secretly provided by the foundation's own data.
He bolsters this image by claiming that European heads of state and Iranian religious leaders are in constant contact with the group. After projecting this external importance, the rhetoric turns to policing the group's internal ranks. He publicly excommunicates Caroline De Roose, emphasizing her removal from the worldwide organization and announcing their imminent divorce. He concludes by demanding total exclusivity, telling his followers that only one group can be first and that all others are irrelevant. This combination of state backing and ruthless internal purging creates a psychological environment where doubt is punished and loyalty is the only path to safety. When we examine the interaction of these four quadrants, the result is a hermetically sealed reality. This structure works to systematically exclude all outside perspectives. When a person believes that the world is lethal and every institution is a criminal mafia, submission to the organization becomes a matter of perceived survival. The effectiveness of this disinformation lies in its internal consistency rather than its scientific accuracy. If the initial premise of total institutional collapse is accepted, the group's apocalyptic solutions appear as a logical necessity. Existential dread provides the fuel for these narratives, replacing the search for objective facts with a desperate need for protection. For sociologists, dismantling these claims requires more than debunking individual errors. It requires understanding the structural architecture that makes the errors believable in the first place.